Hi guys, and welcome to Escape Wheel Watch Reviews. My name is Steve, and today we're looking at the Pagani Design PD 1690 version 2. So the Pagani Design AliExpress official store FedExed me this package in like 3 days after it was released. So a huge thank you to them for getting this watch to me so I could, share what's new with version 2. So the retail price for this watch is $120. It will be available for $87 on the 11/11 sale. And you can add an extra $10 to that price for the fancy packaging if you're into that kind of thing. The version 2 can be purchased in black, gray, yellow, and this beautiful blue color that you see here. And to get the version 2, you will need to order the watch from the Chinese warehouses. So if you order from the European warehouses, all they have left is version 1. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you're getting it from China and not from the European warehouse. And unfortunately, if you're looking for, I'll put it up here, the dark blue sunburst color, that one only comes in version 1 for right now. So what do you get for your hard-earned money? You get a full 316L stainless steel case, solid bracelet, nice clasp, screw down case back, screw down crown, sapphire crystal, and a Japanese automatic movement. So you're getting the same great specs as before on version 1, but with the added changes of version 2. It might seem like version 2 is just a new paint job, but I counted 5 new things on this watch. So let's dig in and find out what they are. So first things first, just like always, we will start with the dimensions. 39.7, so that's exactly the same as it was before. 11.3, 11.2, so that's the same as well. You've got 20 millimeter lug width, so that's the same. Overall case length of 48.8, and with the bracelet, the overall length is 52.3. So the case dimensions are exactly the same as before. So it's going to wear exactly like it did prior, which was, I think, pretty good. It's a little bit long, but it really wears very comfortably, and you do have some nice turn down to those lugs, as you can see there. So it does hug the wrist pretty good. You got a low case back, and yeah, I think overall it does wear pretty good. So I'm going to go outside right now and throw this on the wrist for you. So here it is on my 7.5 inch wrist. Obviously the lug to lug size, I can pull off pretty much anything, but I mean, this thing looks great. I do feel like it wears a little bit smaller on straps and stuff like that. So if you're worried about that, definitely pick up a strap, find one that you like, but I do think it looks really good on the bracelet. Yeah, I think the bracelet is what you expect from Pagani Design, I think. I'll get you the down the wrist shot here. You can see there's some nice curvature to the lugs too. And yeah, really nice light play off that bezel. AR crystal, I think, is doing a really good job cutting down on reflections. It's a pretty clear looking dial. Let's get you in some sunlight. Really see that Tiffany blue dial pop now. Yeah, I think the coloring it looks awesome. It looks really good. But yeah, overall pretty happy with this one. The way it looks really good. And the dial with the AR coating, you get a nice clear dial, so you got lots of sparkle off the hands and the indices. And yeah, it just looks great. I'm gonna go inside, throw it on some straps, and we'll get back to the review. It's throwing it on a tan brown leather strap. Definitely not a fan of this combo. That's just me though. But I think this blue makes it pretty hard to find good combinations of straps. So just keep that in mind if you are a strap whore like me. Might be difficult. So here we are on a white Tropic strap. I'm not saying a Tropic strap is the best choice for this strap, but maybe just a white rubber strap or a white leather strap would look pretty good, I think, actually. Yeah. What do you guys think? And here we are on a gray silicone strap. I think it looks pretty good on this. I just like the way the pale blue kind of contrasts the gray there. Looks really good. I'm gonna go throw it on one more strap and then we'll get back to the review. And having a little bit of fun, here we are in a dark blue NATO strap. You can see that it still wears pretty good with the 2 layers underneath it. But yeah, I like the dark blue and light blue contrasting. Looks pretty good. But yeah, the strap combos on this thing are pretty tough to match, I think, and get something that actually looked good. I think dark blue and gray and white are probably your best options. So yeah, Let me know what you guys think. But let's go inside and get back to this review. So let's zoom in, get close, and talk about the case finishing on this thing. So this is one of the things that has changed. So I have my version 1 over here on the right, and you can see the tops of the lugs are polished along with every other surface on the watch, right? So version 2 gets rid of that. Really happy with this. They brush the top of the lugs. Nicely done, vertical brushing. Flows nicely into the bracelet, so no complaints there. Transitions to the polished surfaces are done really nicely. Pretty impressed with the case finishing on this. You know, Pagani did a pretty good job on this one. I don't see any funhouse effect in the polished surfaces. Yeah, absolutely love this upgrade. It makes a big difference, I think. So really liking that. Looks really good. The bezel on this, it's your same bezel as before, so it's a fully polished, kind of a rounded shape to it there. Looks really good. So the case back on this, it's a circular case brushing. It's got the mountain etched in there with some ice picks with the Pagani Design logo. It's a pretty interesting case back, nicely done. It does say stainless steel, Pagani Design, water resistant, 200 meters, and PD 1690. So nice to see the spec sheet on there, and like always, it's a nicely done case back. I'm pretty happy with it. And the underside of the lugs are a circular brushing. Let's talk about the crystal real quick. So again, this is unchanged from version 1. It is a flat sapphire crystal, and we will test it real quick. Really hard to see, but it did test positive. I think I just ran out of batteries, but it does test positive for sapphire. It is a flat piece of sapphire. It is ever so slightly raised from the bezel and does have a nice chamfer around the outside. And according to the spec sheet, it does have anti-reflective coating, and I believe it. It looks really good, actually. Very clear dial through the crystal, and yeah, I'm very happy with it. There's no like ugly blue tinge to it or anything like that. So overall, I am pretty happy with it. So let's talk about the dial. So this is one of the other things that's changing. Now, I don't believe the black and the gray is changing as far as the dial goes. I believe that one still has the date cut out, but this blue, and it does come in the orange. And yeah, it's a no date dial, which I absolutely love. It's got that double baton at the 3, 6, and 9. Looks really good. Triangle at 12, and then stick batons everywhere else. The minute track is printed in black, and it has the wider indexes of all the 5-minute markers. You have Pagani Design and their logo there printed nicely, really nicely. It is kind of like almost a 3D effect to it. You can see there, it is gloss black. Looks really good, nice and clean. And then you have the PT time automatic 20 bar at the 6 o'clock position. And then down at the bottom, you do have Japan movement. The hands on this, here's another part that has changed. Just ever so slightly. If I didn't have the version 1, I wouldn't have noticed. But yeah, so I'm going to bring in version 1 here, and you can see the hands are quite a bit thinner on the version 2. I actually kind of like it. I think it looks pretty good. Yeah, and I also think that they do just catch the light a little bit better. But yeah, they are just ever so slightly thinner than the version 1 hands. But they are nicely sized. You can see the second hand reaches all the way out to the minute track. Minute hand is just short of the minute track, and then the hour hand is, I think, really nicely sized. Very happy with the handset on this one. The Lume on this, like I mentioned on my version 1, this is the first Pagani design I've seen that has BGW9. So it does have BGW9 on the dial. Full stop. You heard me say dial, right? Yeah. The hands on these are green Lume, and I'm not sure why they did that. So I did mention that to the seller. They seem pretty upset. Mentioned to me that the factory built this out of spec, so they're going to contact them. So maybe we'll see a version 3. I'm really not sure. I'll leave a comment down below if I hear anything from the seller about that. But I will pop up a Lume shot. So here you can see the version 2 in the middle with the version 1 on the right-hand side and the Steel Dive Captain Willard on the left. And you can see the Willard just absolutely dominates it. But it does hold on pretty decently, but those hands are just horrible. The Lume is very poor on the hands, and you know that's the most important part of the Lume is the hands. So really disappointing to see that they switched to the C3 Lume. Hopefully they get that fixed and add it to a version 3. So let's talk about the movement, and here is another difference. So we all know the NH35 is in shortage. They had some closures in Malaysia plant, so yeah, the NH35 is hard to get. So what they replaced it with is an Epson movement. It is a Japanese movement. I believe it's the same movement as what you find in like the Orient Makos and Orient Rays, just with a slightly different branding on it. And I think it's great. Yeah, I've got no problems with it. It's been very accurate. It does have the dual winding rotor, so it's not a noisy movement at all. The hand winding, so the first position, it hand winds the movement. It is maybe a little bit more difficult to turn, a little bit more stiff than the NH35, but it winds fine. The second position, there is a ghost date position. And then the third position, you pull it out, it does hack the movement, as you can see there. So overall, I've been pretty happy with it. It reminds me a lot of the NH35 as far as accuracy and quietness and all that stuff. The NH35, you set the time, you wind it clockwise to move it forward. This one is opposite. So that's just something I had to kind of get used to. But again, not a big deal at all. Overall, I've been pretty happy with the movement. I'll pop up the full specs if I can find them here. And yeah, but I think if you get this movement, you should be pretty happy with it. The crown and the crown threading, again, typical with Pagani, really nicely done. You do have a signed crown here at the 3 o'clock position. Nicely done. Pretty typical with Pagani, but again, nicely done. So let's talk about the bracelet. So this is unchanged from version 1. So you have a fully brushed bracelet on the top. You have polished sides. You have solid end links, solid links, screw pins for adjusting. You got your same typical Pagani design clasp. If you saw my unboxing video of version 1, you'll know that this thing did some serious damage to me, but I can happily say this one I have no problems with opening. So yeah, pretty nicely done. Clasp is, you know, it's what you expect from Pagani design. You do have a little bit of sharp edges at the bottom here, but it doesn't really bother me too much. I don't notice it digging into me or anything like that. The brushing is done nice. The polishing, again, done pretty nice. You do have this lifting mechanism here. This one works better than any other Pagani I've had. I don't know if they changed it or what, but you can actually see on the other ones it doesn't really lift up. This one actually hinges up. So yeah, I think maybe they changed something, or maybe I've just gotten really bad clasps in the past. I'm not really sure. But you do have you know, your typical solid inner parts here, fold over clasp. You do have some hidden micro adjust there. But the only caveat with that is that you have to pop out this Easy Link extension, and we'll pop that out. No, we won't pop that out. Yeah, again, second time. I had the same problem. Here's my version 1 with the very difficult clasp. This one here. Ugh. Again, I don't know what it is. I know these clasps are used on everything, so maybe I just got bad luck with these Oyster Perpetual Homages, but I couldn't pop this one either. But that Easy Link is there. I tried everything I could. You can see some tool marks in there to try and pry it open. I could not pop it open. But if you do get a good one, you should be able to pop this open and get your spring bar tool in there and then adjust the micro adjust. So just keep that in mind. Overall, though, you know, it's typical with Pagani. You know, sometimes you get good ones, sometimes you get bad ones. My version 1 had a horrible clasp. This one has a decent clasp with the non-working micro adjust thing. So yeah, that's just kind of what you get with Pagani. But overall, I think the bracelet is pretty good. If you've had one Pagani design bracelet, you've had the same one. I mean, I think they just reuse this on everything. So your end link fitment, it's pretty good. It's not perfect. It does stop short of the case there, so it does shorten it up just a little bit, which is nice to see. But the actual link fitment in the lugs, I think, is pretty solid. Both sides fits pretty good. This first link is usually my biggest complaint. You do get a little bit of rattle from that, something that you don't really get from something like San Martin or Kronos. So yeah, you do get a little bit of rattle here and there, but once it's on the wrist, I think it's pretty good. It's a good bracelet. It's just not a great bracelet. So let's talk about quality control issues. So you did see the Easy Link extension. That one just flat out doesn't work for me. Otherwise, the bracelet came out fine. I had no problems sizing it, and everything was good. Screw down crown action was fine. The hands are aligned nicely. I'm sure you've noticed it already, but that triangle at the 12 o'clock is way crooked. Way crooked. I mentioned that as well to the seller, and they just basically chalked it up to a quality control issue. My other one, you know, it's fine. No real problems with the alignment on that one. So again, it's what you expect with Pagani. Sometimes if you get a really good one, these are great watches. If you get one that's bad, it ruins it for you. But this one is, you know, that triangle would bother me. I did get this watch for free, so I'm not gonna send it back or anything like that. So, but yeah, hopefully you guys will get a nice one. I did notice the alignment on some of these indices. They're just ever so slightly off. It's so hard to tell. I think it is the top 3. So like I mentioned, it's just so hard to tell with these polished indices. Sometimes they look fine. Sometimes they look like they're off. Like you can see there, it looks like maybe that 2 o'clock indices just shifted a little bit. 3 o'clock or 1 o'clock, sorry. It looks like it's pretty good. The 11 o'clock definitely looks like it's off, and 10 o'clock maybe just a hair off. All the other ones seem to be pretty good though. So yeah, from a distance you never notice it. And for the $87 you can pick this up on 1111. Those little things, the triangle, I don't think I could live with, but the other misalignment of the indices is something that I can deal with for the price. So there you have it. That's the Pagani Design PD 1690 version 2. Let me know what you guys think. If you are interested in purchasing this, I'm going to leave a link down in the description. That is an affiliate link. I really appreciate it, guys. And all the likes, all the views, really helping get watches like this on the channel early and giving you a quick look at some of these things pretty much before anyone else can. So yeah, keep those likes coming, keep the views coming. I really do appreciate it. If you want to see some more pictures of this, I will be leaving my Instagram account down below. Go check it out there. I do have a few pictures there. If you guys have any questions or comments about this thing, drop them down below. If I don't know the answer, I will be sure to reach out to the seller and get back to you guys. I'm usually pretty good about getting back to people. And yeah, I really like hearing what you guys think about these things. And yeah, so let me know if you're going to pick one of these up on the 1111 sale. I definitely think it should be on your list. So I think that's about it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.